We are supposedly live. This is your live exclamation point, so I assume we're live. Usually this is pretty much on the ball. It's not a 5-second delay. So usually when this is live, it's live. So, but by now with all this rambling I've just been doing, it's definitely live.
It's definitely live. We've got this, Seth.
I get to edit all this crap out in the beginning when I did the podcast. I'm like, where is the 3, 2, 1? And I find that, and I thank God.
You'd think by the 15th episode we would have gotten it down.
15th episode. This is at the 50th for me. This is season 2. Yeah. All right, let's rock and roll. All right, let me count us in. I'll do the. Let me just make this in the things that make this 16. There we go. Episode. Okay, there we go. All right, we're gonna rock and roll now. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, and welcome to. Of course, I'm going to screw it up.
Shannon was dancing. It's because Shannon was laughing. That's why.
Yeah, it's all Shannon's fault. It's always Shannon's fault. All right, you guys are a riot. It's gonna be a fun episode. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, and welcome to season 2, episode 16 of the Digital Marketing Dive podcast. I'm Seth with Goldstein Media, and with me is always the amazing, talented, adorable, awesome, kick-ass. We have to get the kick-ass in. Shannon of Diam Business Consulting. I said Diam Business.
Thank
Yay!
you.
And we also have someone even equally as peppy and perky as Shannon, Annie Ruggles.
I am so delighted to be introduced by my level of perkiness compared to Shannon. My qualifications for being on this podcast no longer matter. I am here for the perk factor, Seth.
There you go.
So Annie is one of my favorite people. I just stand back and watch her shine. I love it.
Oh, Shannon, you are my favorite cheerleader.
There you go. I love
Seth, I just met you, but I'm sure you're great too.
I attempt, but not nearly as great as Shannon. So, all right, enough of the love fest. Anyhow, today we have Annie Ruggles of the Non-Sleazy Sales Academy, amongst other things. And you guys ready to rock?
Absolutely.
There we go. Even in conjunction. I love that. In harmony.
Can I just say, first of all, from someone who works with small business owners, one of the biggest hangups I see over and over and over again are people getting hung up on this sales piece. No one wants to seem icky. No one wants to drag their friends through the mud to buy something, right? When I saw this product, when I met Annie last year and realized what it was that she was doing, I completely fell in love. So Annie, where did all this come from? First of all, tell us about your product and what you coach on, and then where did all this come from?
So the Non-Sleazy Sales Academy calls out to people who are exactly like I was. So first off, everything I'm about to say about sales avoidant is said with no judgment because I used to be the worst at it. But now I work with coaches, healers, and other people in helping professions who use words like calling and purpose and mission about their business and therefore don't want to cheapen that by asking for money in the horrible way that so many people around them do it, or with their cobbled together knowledge of what they think selling is. My special emphasis is on working with natural empaths and introverts. And that is because, as peppy as I am, I'm an empath, but I'm also an introvert.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just loud.
You're just loud. That's like Shannon calling herself an introvert.
I'm not an introvert at all.
No.
I am. I'm the Energizer Bunny, but I'm the eco version that you have to recharge.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like I will go and go and go and go until I freaking stop. And then I need complete silence and just stare at the wall for a while and then I'll be back at it.
Gotcha. Love it. Love it. So when did you realize there was an issue that you needed to develop Non-Sleazy Sales Academy?
You know, it was a dread that kind of crept up slowly in that I was doing marketing and branding for the same audience for years and years and years and years. And I adored it. I loved it so much. And I think every dime you spend on marketing and every dime you spend on branding is important. I'm not knocking either. But what was happening with the kind of people that were drawn to working with me were those empathic human sponges, were people who really are saying, I'm doing this because I just want to help people. Those people were finding me. And I was watching them give and 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 die. And their businesses would just die. And I would go way or close to it, right? They go into like business hospice. And I was like, why is this happening? This is a beautiful, incredible, integrity coming out their pores person who has this super rare skill set, knows exactly who they want to help, and is marketing their tookus off. What is happening? And the answer was, what is not happening? And what is not happening was they weren't asking for the sale. They were assuming that marketing was going to take them across the finish line and not asking. And then I had to look at myself and realize that the reason that many of them were practicing that was because they were watching me, and that's what I was doing. And so I thought, I need to stop being a freaking hypocrite, dragging people almost all the way to the finish line just to drop them.
Right.
No. And so I said, there's got to be a better way to do this. There's got to be something that my beautiful shining star unicorn clients can do in order to be able to compete with their sleazier competitors. And I certainly also wanted to be able to compete with mine.
There you go.
I love it. I love it. You saw a need and you filled it very, very effectively. I met Annie early last year at some point. And when I saw this product, it really spoke to me because it's empathetic selling. There goes my every time, every
Our hands. Whoosh.
But it speaks to me because that's what sales are supposed to be. We're supposed to be developing relationships. We're supposed to be joining arms and marching forward together, as opposed to let's see how much I can run up a sale on you.
And the more selling is allowed to be sleazy, the more it reinforces the idea that that's what selling is, right? It just adds more and more and more sales avoidance, sales resistance, because we're just fueling it with everything that we don't want to be. That was a horrible way that I was sold to. Let me put that in the bank of why I'll never sell. And this person totally swindled me, and let's put that in the bank of why I'll never sell. And there's not enough people in the sales industry stepping out and saying, if you are a good person, great, you're awesome at sales, probably just because you care. Right. But you have to have different tactics. You cannot use the sharkish tactics that you see on Glengarry Glen Ross. You will alienate the client and you will mortally wound your own confidence.
Right.
Wow.
I totally agree. And that's a great statement. So what do you see is one of the biggest things that our small business owners, entrepreneurs are out there doing that ends up alienating those customers? They think they're doing the right thing, and then it ends up pushing people away.
I've already touched on it a little bit, which is over marketing.
Yeah.
Over marketing has real potential to drive a wedge between you and the client. And that's when you're over delivering. Like, what? And the way that I always like to explain this, it's kind of goofy, but hear me out, is a chocolate cake. So if I decide that I want to fill the world with my grandmother's secret recipe chocolate cake, I'm going to dedicate my life to it. I'm going to quit my job. I'm all about chocolate cake now. I'm going to go and I'm going to market my butt off about chocolate cake. Right? I'm going to be talking about that constantly. And behind the scenes, I'm going to be going grocery store to grocery store in a pandemic, sourcing my items, testing different packaging. I'm finding other people that I can trust the secret recipe to. I'm being very precious about it all. And all the time, I'm documenting everything on Instagram and Clubhouse and blah, 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 blah. And then the day comes and I decide that I'm going to have this grand opening that I've been talking about for months. And I tell everybody where to come experience the cake that you've all been freaking waiting for. And they come and the cake is in a glass box, like a museum box. There's the cake. Here it is. Aren't you so glad? They came to eat the cake. They came to experience the cake. They came to taste the cake, not to look at the cake, right? And what we do is we go, let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you. Hello, I am here. Let me give you this. Let me give you this. Let me give you this. We overwhelm them with it. They get excited by the possibility of it. And then we're like, okay, on to the next thing. Let me shout this at you. And they're like, hold on, don't I get cake?
That is a very good point. A very
I
good
love
point.
it.
Yeah.
And Shannon, I think you met your match.
Right? I told you. Yes.
Wow, I've met my match.
Now, Annie, that is a great way to state that, because you see it in the market over and over and over again, where it's constant, just moving on to the next thing, moving on to the next thing, moving on to the next thing. And there's no follow through in building that relationship with the person who's willing to buy from you. Yeah.
I mean, there's two. Here's a self-assessment. Again, no judgment. I used to do this completely. Okay? What did you do to market your business today? Did you ask for money today? Most people will be able to tell you in vivid detail either what they did or what they delegated to market in their business that day.
Right.
And yet, if I ask people if they've asked for money today, it's about 50-50. 50% will say no. Yeah. And 50% will go, well, kind of. I think I did. Yeah. Indirectly, but yeah.
I think they knew what I wanted them to do.
Yeah. They can put it together. I don't want to offend their intelligence.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. I absolutely get it. So what do you see? This is all about digital marketing, right? What do you see is that magic sauce in digital marketing? The people that are killing it, what is it that they're doing that all the other small business owners are not doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So keeping on the authenticity, transparency trend of the recent decade, I think what's really got the secret sauce for me is when people balance emotion and fact well, because we tend to market to people the way that we like to be marketed to. And we tend to sell to people the way that we like to be said to. But it's a spectrum, like pretty much everything else in terms of personality. It's really a spectrum. Some people are way over here in razzle dazzle land. Okay. Some people are way over here. They don't want to even listen to this podcast because of the sweater I'm wearing. They're like, too much sparkle. Just give it to me straight. I'll listen to it on audio. I can't handle it. Right. Give me the cliff notes.
In 2 weeks. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And so, but the thing is, there's also a whole bunch of people whose preference is firmly somewhere in between.
Right.
What I see that does not work on social media and in digital marketing is when it leans chunkily one way or the other, if it even leans at all.
Sure.
The secret sauce for me is when they're providing real, detailed, structural, tangible stuff, and the storytelling and the glitter and the jazz in a beautiful balance, which doesn't have to be 50-50. It's really based on their industry. But in order for me to really be drawn to a brand, I want to see both.
That makes perfect sense. And I tend to be, because I am a visionary, this actually was brought up last week amongst the team, because I am a visionary, I tend to look at that when I'm marketing that big picture. This is what it's going to do for you emotionally as a CEO. This is what's going to bring you peace. This is how you're going to effectively run your company, right? but some people need it broken down into actual, this is actually what it looks like on a day-to-day basis.
Yep.
And with me being a visionary, I can totally see what you're saying, because I'm marketing to people just like me, who think like me, not necessarily who think in different ways. So I appreciate
that's just human nature. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, totally different psychology, the 5 love languages, we tend to put out the forms of love that we want to receive.
Right.
That's the exact same thing.
Right.
If I want razzle dazzle, I'm going to provide razzle dazzle.
Right.
People buy from people they know, like, and trust.
Yes, but also no.
Oh.
People buy from people.
There's a twist.
There is a twist, which is, I love know, like, trust, but there's a really, really critical 4th step called they will buy from you if you know them, if you like them, if you trust them, and if they freaking ask you to pay them.
That's true.
Good point.
That last piece not being part of the know, like, trust lingo is why I have a job.
Yeah, it says know, like, trust, and pay me.
Know, like, trust, cash button.
I didn't know, like.
Know, like, trust, pay me. I like it.
I love it.
I'm going to put that on
awesome.
a back.
Okay, so Annie, you are a small business owner yourself, and that's who's watching this. Entrepreneurs, small business owners, right? What is it that you find in your business that you struggle with keeping consistent at, right? Or getting out there, or needing to be done, those kinds of things?
I'm glad to say that my answer to that would have been everything. Like, what do you struggle to be consistent at? I would have been like, how long do we have? But, I love that you're asking me this question, Shannon, because you took me from a solopreneur to having a team, because I am your client. I am a Diam client. And so one of the things that was so hard for me to do consistently was stay on top of the marketing campaigns that I would spend frickin' months doing. Like, I would plan them for months. And I used to be in marketing and branding, and I have obsessive compulsive disorder. So when I tell you I planned something, I planned it, but then I wouldn't have time to deliver it. And so through my wonderful, wonderful head of business development, Nick, who I adore, through my creative director, Georgia, both of whom I found through Shannon, I have been able to delegate consistently to Georgia and to show up and actually take my strategies and turn them into action with Nick. So my marketing has gotten a lot more consistent, but it's still a struggle. And when Nick goes on vacation, I cry.
Nick is pretty awesome. Both of them are. Nick and Georgia both. Incredible people.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a little testimonial for Diam there.
I like it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. As a small business owner myself, obviously, I have the team surrounding me. It's still hard at times to keep everything moving forward, right? And the reason that is because we try to do everything ourselves.
Absolutely.
The sales portion of things often, ironically, is one of those things that I see with entrepreneurs that falls by the wayside. We're trying to do everything else and trying to keep the plate spinning, and we forget to actually sell. We forget to actually sell, which is the one thing that's going to keep our business open.
There's that overmarketing again.
Yeah.
And it's also, no joke, sales can be beautiful and lovely, and you can have a lovely love affair with it, but marketing is more fun.
Oh, it is.
Absolutely.
And as such, as a burned out small business owner who is doing everything alone or almost everything alone, are you going to get on the phone or are you going to get on Canva? Ooh, tough choice.
Right. Yeah. Especially when you get on the phone, there's a potential of being rejected. And none of us.
Yeah, no one does that. Yeah.
Instagram's not going to hurt my feelings today.
Well, most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time.
I love it. I love it. Seth, what do you find in your business? How do you do sales? How do you make that work?
Oh, that is interesting. And actually, what's interesting about that, I'll put myself over here now. I'm figuring out
You're
the
doing
duck.
good.
I'm figuring out the duck, moving things around. Like, this is the first time I'm like, oh, I click and drag. Ooh, that works really nicely. But no, with business, I'm realizing that 13 years into it, into web design, digital marketing, email marketing, that I'm actually doing what I say I'm going to do. Like I did for my clients. I'm doing the digital marketing. I just got an amazing lead today from Google, my second one this month. So my SEO is actually working for me. I've always ranked pretty good for my key terms, but people are actually now finding me on those key terms. So that's always good. Sales has always been the one thing that I've always struggled with. It's always been something where it's always, asking for money. I've gotten better at it because I need the money. Mm-hmm. So pay me now, please, But, it's always like, I want to be friends. Let's, So it's finding the happy medium. It's also finding out like where your sweet spot is and hiring for the rest.
I totally agree. And I do the same thing. I'd much rather build a strategic partnership than ask someone for money.
Yeah. hire Annie to go out there. And
I mean, number one, yes, hire me for either of those scenarios. But also, I was right there. Yeah. I would over deliver for my clients who weren't even my clients because they weren't paying me. I would over deliver so hardcore that I couldn't sleep. And it turned into like this weird form of freaking martyrdom. That's how far I went to not have to sell. And it cost me years of security.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah.
Security that they would have given me if I have asked them, and many of them have given me since I started asking.
Sure.
Right? But I was right there, the worst of the worst at this.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I love that you've approached that in this way and developed a product to help a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs who are facing the same kind of things. So for our small business owners, for our clients and all of that stuff who struggle with this stuff, what forms does this training take on for you?
My trainings?
Yes. If they are like, I need this, what is it? How do you package it?
Okay, so I have a program that's treated like a membership, but it's actually a curriculum-based program called Sales for Empaths, specifically for coaches, healers, and other helpers. So very small businesses with very big hearts. It's a complete selling system. Oh, I've never said that before, and I need to write that down. Shannon, remind me to write that down.
Will do. I'll pass it off to Georgia.
But yes, very small businesses with very big hearts. And as such, if they are looking for ways to ask, receive, price their stuff, handle objections, close the sale, re-enroll clients, tell people that they don't think that they're a good fit, know how to ask for testimonials or referrals, get rid of a billion kinds of sales baggage, then yes, they can go and they can find that at salesforempaths.com. But before that happens, if you are in active sales avoidance, meaning if you're still using words like icky, yucky, nasty to describe the selling process, or if you find yourself getting tongue-tied in selling situations, or most especially, if you feel like you're violating that friendship energy that Seth was talking about, I want you to go take my free masterclass called Making Selling Easy Without Getting Sleazy, which you can find at AnniePRuggles.com/easy not sleazy. Start there, because no strategy I teach you is going to click unless we shift your sales avoidance.
That's brilliant.
Love that. I love that. And we're putting all these links in the show notes. Everyone.
Yeah, you're actively like right now, like, add that one, add that one.
Yeah. Absolutely. Check this out. Check it out.
Oh, it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah. It's that shit. I mean, like so many other things in business, right? Shifting the mindset makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
It changes everything.
Yeah, there's a mindset piece to this and a strategy piece to this. And the great news is the mindset that you currently have about serving your clients is already this close to the mindset you need for selling. It's this freaking close. And on the strategy piece, all the strategies you avoid are totally unnecessary. None of them are required. So there's your permission slip. You can stay who you are and you can sell how you want to.
I love it.
I love it. Now, talking about that, with all this COVID baloney and stuff, you have a little get together going on in Indiana coming up.
We do, absolutely. So Dave Anderson from Leadstraw, who we recorded with last week, his is coming up as well. And Diam is co-producing
Organizing.
this event, right? Organizing this event. It's coming up on April 24th. It will be an all-day event from 9 to 4. We are having limited in-person attendance and then also virtual attendance, but it is centered around the 4 aspects that small business owners often really struggle with, and that's sales, marketing, processes and systems, and finances, right? And learning how to really tie those together and thrive moving into this new small business world that we found ourselves in after COVID.
Is that the 4 horsemen of the small business apocalypse?
Well, it's so
funny. Marketing.
Yes. And typically small business owners think in one of those ways really strongly, and that's what they hammer on over and over and over, right? Without actually doing all of the rest. The sales and the marketing, like I think in terms of people. So that stuff I can think about and program and strategize and all that kind of stuff. The operations and finances, I want nothing to do with, because that's nothing to do with people. I don't want to do it.
Here.
So right, and so it's
my wife does all the financial stuff.
I'm sorry, Seth. What did you say?
My wife does all the financial stuff. I mean, if I did it, oh my God! Before we got married, my spreadsheet. Yeah, that's how old I am. The spreadsheet that I had, because my finances on were horrible. We'd spent hours trying to detangle what the heck I did to it. So the first thing we did get married was, all right, honey, you taking over all the finances. Don't take me for everything, but like I don't want nothing to do with this.
I know that feeling. You find an old spreadsheet and you're like, I don't know what this data is.
Yeah.
I don't know what this field means, but I spent a lot of time making it look good.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And while we're at it, speaking of COVID and events and whatnot, and going on sales calls, which are starting to probably happen sooner rather than later. We want to thank our sponsor, Breezy Masks. They have, let's see if we can do this correctly this time. They have silver nano protected, breathable, and lightweight, fog-free masks that come in two different models. They have the Exchange and they have the Sport. The Exchange is 5 layers, Sport is 2 layers, and they're fantastic. They're comfortable. You wear them all day. Shannon models them on Instagram all the time because when she goes skiing.
And you can wear them to our event.
Well, you need to wear a mask, so wear a Breezy mask.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go. And the link is in the show notes, so you can see that. But now back to Annie.
Annie.
Thank you, mask makers.
Annie, what final words of wisdom do you have to our small business owners, entrepreneurs out there who are just trying to do it all right? And there's so much coming at them. What words of wisdom do you have?
You are not how you've been sold to.
I like that.
And selling is not how you've been sold to. If you were looking for a better way to do it, that information is out there. I am not the only one. You can start with me. I know others. You can also ask me for more. But there are just as many ways for you to sell in non-sleazy methods as there are sleazy methods out there. And not selling to your people just throws them to the wolves who don't care about wanting to hurt them or not. What if you could sell to them beautifully in a way that includes you in your own success? And the great news is you can.
Yay!
Annie, that's one of the things I've always really appreciated about you. You have a very similar perspective on business that I do, and Diam is set up to really link arms and everyone move forward together. And you have that same kind of spirit. And that's one thing that right away when we started talking, whenever that was, I realized that
That was in the pre-Nick era. We don't talk about then, Shannon. We don't talk about the pre-Nick era.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you for coming on tonight and sharing your words of wisdom.
Oh, this has been so much fun.
My pleasure. Thank you for letting my weird drill sergeant Muppet self come and proselytize on y'all.
You make me smile. 100%.
You made me smile. Yeah, you're one of my favorite people. I mean, Shannon's my favorite, but you know.
Aww.
I'm climbing the list.
Climbing the list. Well, this is fun. You know, reach out to us on all of our social media platforms. We're Digital Marketing Dive in most places. I'm not going to do the Twitter joke, but we are in some version of Start Digital Marketing Dive on Twitter. Just think we have to shrink some of those words. We want to shout out Breezy Masks for keeping us covered in the craziness of 2020 and 2021. I got that out. They're by far the most comfortable masks we both have worn. And we'll have to get some out to Annie as well. We'll have to get Annie a mask.
I love masks. Please continue to wear them.
Exactly. Let's keep us all safe here. We're almost out, but we got to keep the masks going. We also want to thank Alex Hillman, who was at the top of the show that was not on the live stream, but, you know, top of the show for his book, Tiny MBA. Check that book out. It is awesome. 103 pages of little snippets of goodness. So, and if you're enjoying this craziness of our podcast, please review us on Apple Podcasts or the podcast directory of your choice. There's something called Podchaser out there. It's kind of giving Apple Podcasts a run for their money. So, give us a review over there if you don't mind. You can reach out to us if I haven't already exhausted you on how many places you can reach out to us on. Hello at Digital Marketing Dive. And, drumroll, we have a community where you can actually even meet Annie on there too. Community.dmd.fm. It is just started last week, and there's a bunch of Seth in there right now, and there's gonna be a bunch of Shannon in there, and hopefully Annie will jump in there as well, and we'll all have a nice big party in there.
I like it. Seth, thank you for your hard work on this. Annie, thank you for joining us.
Oh, Annie, you're awesome.
If all of you out there in virtual world, if you need anything, please reach out to us. That's why we do this for entrepreneurs, small business owners, founders. If you have questions, reach out to us. We're in this market all the time. Let us help you.
Absolutely. Until next week.
Have a great night, all.